How's it going, everyone? Mike the Warhost here, and today we're going to be looking at how to build your posse list. This video is aimed primarily at new players who got some Wild West Exodus stuff over the holiday season and are curious about how list building actually works. It's a somewhat cumbersome system to use at first glance, but once you've seen it in action, it'll make much more sense. So without further ado, let's head over to see what Stonewall Jackson is up to today. Sir, we got a problem. We're running low on juice. One of the barrels sprang a leak overnight. How much we got left, Private? Sarge says maybe 2 weeks if we can keep the Outriders from going too far and stop using the canines for night watch. Damn. Alright then, time for a supply run. So, Stonewall Jackson is going to lead a foray into the sleepy town of Red Oak to see what he can do about keeping his forces fueled up. Since his forces are a bit strapped for RG at the moment, he won't be taking a full army, but wants to make sure he can get the job done. After taking a look at the situation, Stonewall Jackson will be bringing a 1,200 point force to Red Oak in search of red gold. What is he going to bring? Alright now, listen here. We're running low on RJ, so it's time to stock up. There's a small town about half day's ride out that should have plenty, so a small posse of us are going to head out and grab what we can and head on back. Stonewall Jackson is going to put together his 1,200 point posse list. Looking at his posse card, if he can get all 6 slots filled, then every unit in the list will have the elite special rule, allowing Jackson's posse to treat any guts bonus as +1 action point if he chooses. If you look at the posse card, you'll see that the various slots have specific unit requirements. Slot 1, for example, states that it can only be filled by either Ben Hamilton or an Outlaw Confederate Hands unit. This means the slot can be filled either by Ben Hamilton, a unit of Rebel Scouts, or a unit of Dixie Snipers. If you look at the keyword section of a unit card, it will list all the relevant attributes associated with that particular unit. So in our example, the Rebel Scouts have the following keywords: Hands, Outlaws, Human, Male, Confederate. Since this unit has the relevant keywords from the posse card, Outlaw, Confederate, and Hands, we can take a unit of Rebel Scouts in the first slot. If you wanted to take a unit of Bandit Gunmen, for example, it wouldn't be possible since the Bandit Gunmen do not have the Confederate keyword. Slots 2 through 4 are a bit more open as they only require both the Outlaw and Confederate keywords. You can even fit 2 units per slot here, should you have the points available. Slots 5 and 6 are a bit different, however. These slots let you take either an Outlaw Confederate unit, a Mercenary Support unit, or both, should you have the points. If you want some heavy hitters, you'll need to look at the various support options that have the Outlaws, Mercenary, and Support keywords. As with our previous example, taking a unit of Bandit Outriders in one of these slots would work, but a Warrior Asian Fire Eagle would not. Making a list should be rather easy to do at 1,200 points, so let's see what he chooses. Alright, I want a squad of Scouts and Snipers here too. Sergeant Wilson, Corporal Franklin, y'all are with me. We're going to need some extra firepower too. I don't want no blue bellies or tin stars making a mess of things. Somebody get those damned Outriders out of their tents, they're coming with us. Make sure the gun dogs are fueled up and ready to go. And don't forget to put the Gatling guns on them this time. I don't want to set the whole damn town on fire. After surveying his available personnel, Stonewall Jackson has made his decision. Let's see how close he gets to his 1,200 point mark. Stonewall Jackson himself is 255 points. Tobias Franklin and Bell Wilson are 145 points and 130 points respectively. A full squad of 6 Rebel Scouts is 270 points, as is a full squad of 6 Dixie Snipers. A full-size unit of 3 Bandit Outriders comes in at 225 points, and the full squad of K9 Gun Dogs is 180 points, with an additional 60 points for the Gatling guns. Totaled up, this force equals 1,535 points. Looks like Stonewall is going to need to trim things back a bit. While he could easily take out one of the more expensive units, it would leave a slot empty, meaning he wouldn't get the Theme Posse bonus. And since it's a pretty big boost, it would most likely be best to start trimming down unit sizes where he can to come in as close to the 1,200 point mark as possible. Slots 1 and 2 are taken by face units, so there's nothing to be done there. Slots 3 and 4 have the 2 hands units at their max size of 6. Taking 2 models out of these units drops their point cost down from 270 to 180, which helps out a lot. Slots 5 and 6 have 2 support units in them at their max size of 3. Taking a single model out of each brings the Outriders cost down to 150 and the Gundogs cost down to 120. Since we're only taking 2 Gundogs, we only need 2 Gatling guns, taking the cost for them down to only 40 points. Adding this brings us to 1,200 points on the nose. Now let's see what the lawmen have available. Helena Miller and Black of 2020 are heading back to Tombstone to meet up with the rest of the Infernal Investigations posse and to have a word with Wyatt Earp about some of the more peculiar goings-on she's become privy to out in the Arizona desert. The two of them make a small detour in Red Oak to stock up on supplies and get their RJ canisters topped off before heading out on the road again. On their way into town, the two spot a Confederate force slowly making their way to the same town.
Hold! Are you seeing that?
Affirmative. Multiple Confederates appear to be converging on Red Oak.
Keep your voice down. You want them damn rabs to hear us?
Apologies.
We need to get to town quick and let the law know what's heading their way.
Agreed.
Helena and Blackhoof sneak through the forest and arrive in Red Oak shortly before the Confederates do. They make a beeline for the jail and start rounding up as many deputies and weapons as are available.
Listen up now! We got about 20 minutes before a group of Confederate rebels head into town, looking for loot. Maybe they want guns, maybe they want gold, maybe they want RJ, but the only thing we'll be handing over is hellfire and damnation. Now what do y'all have for law around here?
Since Helena will be relying primarily on what's at hand in Red Oak, she won't be using the Infernal Investigations posse for her list, but rather the generic lawman posse.
Grace, I want you and that Capelli girl on the rooftops watching out. Get the law bots and gun dogs warmed up. We ain't got any interceptors here right now. We'll need all the help we can get. Get the deputies staged there and over yonder. Blackhoof, wait by the general store and be ready to give the deputies some fire support if they need it.
Acknowledged.
I'll try to stay mobile and jump in where I'm needed. If we're lucky, I can bring down whoever's leading them rebs and send 'em home to Mama.
Helena has managed to assemble a big enough force to give the Confederates a run for their money. Helena's list consists of Helena Miller at 225 points, Grace Myrtle at 130 points, and Missy Capelli at 140 points, Blackhoof 2020 at 165 points, 2 UR30 Lawbots at 100 points, 4 Deputized Gunslingers at 140 points, 4 Deputized Sharpshooters at 140 points, and 2 K9 Gundogs at 120 points, with grenade launchers coming in at 30 points. Adding this up gives us a total of 1,190 points, just 10 points shy of the 1,200 mark, since there aren't any unit upgrades in the Lawman Armory for 10 points, and because a booby trap will cost 20, Helena can't add anything else to her force. She'll have to make do with what she's got. And with that, the stage is set. Both forces have a complete list at the 1,200 point level using the available posse rules for both the Lawman and Outlaw Confederate factions. Hopefully this video provides some insight into how posse lists work in Wild West Exodus. It feels a bit clunky at first, but does get to be rather intuitive once you get the hang of it. It also encourages a more narrative playstyle with the theme posses, which helps draw players into the game itself. That's going to do it for me today. Stay tuned for more rules videos, some painting tutorials, and plenty more. Take care, everyone.